Hi everybody and welcome to the Money Boy and Money Man show. Ollie, what a great start to the week.
Great start to the week for me, and I believe for you too.
Yeah, I've been on fire, some people have told me. Our accumulator came in at 5-1. That was the one we tipped on Monday.
Yeah.
So we had Colorado Avalanche winning last night, 7-2. I did say it was men against boys, and that proved right. We had the New York Yankees Tampa Bay. I said under 9.5 runs. Mm-hmm. That one squeaked in at 9. So, but squeaked.
Margins.
Yeah, a win is a win. And the first part of that one was what? What was that? PSG.
PSG, yeah.
Yeah, and that one came in with relative ease as well.
Yeah.
So that's the first one I tackled was a 2-leg accumulator. We won that 3-leg. So the next one I'm going to be tackling is a 4-leg accumulator and see if we can get a win on that score as well.
Yeah, it should be exciting. So it should be pretty high.
Well, I think the only reason people follow me is certainly not for my looks. It's got to be for the amount of success that we constantly deliver.
And we've been having a few good weeks, I must say. You're pretty consistent, but for the first half of this year, I was a little bit like, well, your wins would sort of be here and there, but I'm also seeing relative success. I think because I'm probably because I'm following half of your tips as well.
Well, you were kind of like the money child for a while.
A little bit, yeah. Progressing steadily.
Well, look at you. You're trying to learn something that took me 40 years to learn. How to gamble with discipline and how to do it properly.
You got to check yourself all the time.
Look, even I make mistakes still at this age of 35.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting. Anyway, it's been a lot of fun with Betway and the accumulators.
Yeah.
And what I wanted to chat about today is the hats, the caps. Guys, I'm blown away by the amount of people that have opened up Betway accounts, and we're dealing with emails. It's quite simple. If you open an account with Betway, I'll send you one of these New Era baseball caps. I think we've got about 30 in stock. And then I have to order through a mate of mine overseas who's sending me the next batch of caps. So we'll post pictures on my website, moneymansa.co.za, and you can choose your cap. It'll take about 2-3 weeks for us to deliver it to you. We do have to verify that you actually did open an account and
deposit 500 rand.
And deposit 500 rand, yeah, because the caps I think are close to 400 rand, 500 rand value.
Yeah.
It is costing me a fortune, but it's good to be costing me a fortune. So we have Sevilla versus
Inter Milan.
Inter Milan. Should be a cracking final, and that's Friday.
Yeah.
So we'll have a video out tomorrow, and I'll tell you who's going to win that game. And then we have Bayern Munich versus PSG, probably the best final that you could watch in years.
Yeah, definitely. Quality of football there is just going to be, regardless of the result, just a great 90 minutes, I think, to watch.
Yeah, so if you tune in, if you come back tomorrow, we'll on Friday, I'll tell you who's going to win that.
And just how many corners there'll be.
Well, I'll tell you who's refereeing, what the weather's going to be like, who's having an affair with somebody else's wife. We'll cover it all for you.
Got one of my mates always sort of having a dig at me, Keo and his corners every time. How many corners do you guys take tonight?
Yeah.
Just leave it with the corners bets.
Yeah, well, some people enjoy the corner bets because they're involved all the time.
Yeah.
On average, it's probably around 2.8 goals scored in a soccer match, but in corners, it's probably 9 to 10 on average. So you get something to cheer for all the time.
That market fluctuates a lot in game as well. It's interesting to watch. Like last night for the Bayern Munich game, there were 3 corners within the first 14 minutes, which I worked it out ends up being like 22 corners over the match if you're going like corner per minute. But then at half-time, just before half-time, there were only like 6 corners.
4, yeah.
Yeah, so it also shows you,
Well, games ebb and flow, as I've always said.
Yeah.
Don't press the panic button when things happen. There's a reason that things average out at 10 or 11.
Yeah, exactly.
And I love that about Betway is they do have in-running on the corners, in-running on the cards. So they've got in-running betting on everything, which is great. And if you're following the NBA almost all NBA games and baseball games you can watch them through Betway, which is also great.
I'm not following the NBA. I'm just following you following the NBA.
Well, the reason why I know so much about the NBA is that I've followed it since I was 11, and watched the great teams of the Lakers and the Celtics. Played college basketball in Canada, so basketball is one of those sports that I grew up loving and playing.
And how do you find basketball these days compared to sort of the golden era of Larry Bird and all of them? If you're watching the games now compared to the enjoyment you used to get out of the games then.
I can safely say that no team today would have beaten. Well, I can't. I think the athleticism in the players today is just freakish.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys aren't afraid to. They should have a 4-point line for scoring because those guys are launching threes from 30, 32 feet.
Yeah.
And jumping out of the gym. So there was more structure to the games back then, but now it's just an offensive bonanza. I mean, it's just really something to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, those games have ebbs and flows. I gave a tip to a friend of mine in Serbia the other night. He said, he texted me and he said, "Geez, what now?" I said, "Geez, you didn't bet on an 8-minute game, did you?"
Yeah.
Let's just recap though. The caps, guys, just mail Gendre. There's the email address. Mail him with your bet slip and your proof deposit, and we will get you the cap that you want. That we have in pictures that you can pick. So tomorrow's show I'm really looking forward to because I was up late last night doing some research on the games. We're going to cover the Brumbies Waratahs as well.
Yeah, I mean that's probably the Australian rugby is probably the toughest market to predict at the moment. We've always said soccer's tough because of the sort of 3 different outcomes, but geez.
Well, you know what I love is the challenge of trying to pick a winner there because I haven't bet on Australian rugby all year.
Yeah.
So, but I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
I usually get it right.
Usually.
Anyway, thanks for tuning in, and we look forward to speaking tomorrow. Thanks all.
Thanks, Kev.